Hey everybody, this week's episode is brought to you by Deep Creek Glassworks. Ornaments, pendants, straws, marbles, wine glasses, and functional glass, all unique, durable, and handcrafted. Support a local artist and visit Tanner at Deep Creek Glassworks. That's www.etsy.com/shop/Deep Creek Glassworks. That's WORX. Their creations are stronger glass than what you'll find in stores, so take it from their hands into your home at Deep Creek Glassworks. And just for our listeners, if you enter promo code SUPERFUN, you'll get 10% off of your next order. Once again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/Deep Creek Glassworks.
Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Find us on Facebook.com/SuperFunPodcast, Twitter.com/SuperFunPodcast, Patreon.com/SuperFunPodcast, Instagram at SuperFunPodcastGo, iTunes at Superfun Game Review Podcast Go. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go! Here we go. Ladies and gents, I'm your host tonight, Steve. To my left, I have Raph.
Help me! Kratos! Help me! Hurry! Hurry!
I still can't get that out of my brain. Across the table, Clark.
May the gods grant you strength to conquer the perils before you.
Are we playing Power Stone? To my right, Harry.
Hades may cry. Oh.
Boo!
And you succeeded. There we go. I just went. Oh, that was towards the end of the game. That's okay. Oh, well, you actually beat it. Yeah, we're good. All right. So, everybody.
Before.
Yeah, I beat it once before. Not this time.
We're revisiting a PS2 classic, God of War OG. Here we go. So I was actually the one who brought this to the table, and actually I can thank Mr. Matt Wenzel because he planted the seed, and it sprouted into fruition. And
where did he plant the seeds?
Too much information.
In Harry's mouth. And here we go.
It's a jizz joke.
It is. There we go.
Number one.
Welcome to Season 3, Season of Jizz.
Year of the Jizz.
Please, God. We're going to bukkake this season.
This season.
Four men just jerking off all over video games.
Who's got the cracker?
Gush, bash, shrug.
Oh my God.
Jizz.
So I was actually really glad to revisit this game. It's been years and years since the last time I've got to enjoy it.
About 14 almost.
Something like that. Almost. Well, 13. I didn't play it when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
But that took a little bit. What did people think about going into it?
I played it years ago. Getting back into it with having played all of the sequels and things like that, I was curious to see how this held up. And I don't think it held up well.
Not like Atlas holding the world. Not quite.
No, not
Crumble.
quite like that.
Yeah.
Or Kratos wandering the desert. Couldn't hold it up like that. Couldn't keep it up. Chained and strapped down.
I only have one quick impression on this game, and years ago I saw Hamill playing it, just a little bit of it. And that's really
say a little Hamill.
Little Hamill playing a little Call of Duty. God of War.
God of Duty. Wow.
I think I'm having a stroke.
Call of War. You're turning red. Are you all right?
Oh, he's tasting copper. Shit. No, wait, that's still semen.
That was really my only exposure to this game.
Call of Duty.
Exposure.
Call of Duty. That's how I learned about God of War.
Wait, Hamill exposed himself to you?
Interesting choice of words.
With duty? Jesus.
Do the carpet match the drape? Does the carpet match the drape?
Dude, carpet match drape.
You hear fucking Yoda over here? Do the carpet.
Salamander pants.
That's that Yoda.
Carpet match the drapes it does.
different game altogether.
I instinctually always do the eyebrows with it. I just can't help it.
Sticky of pants I have.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Wow. You'll eat.
so okay, hold on. Just because
Stomach seeds planted have they?
for Hades' sake, just because we're not doing dick jokes doesn't mean we have to overload with the cum jokes.
Loads on face Harry enjoys.
And Yoda. Leave him out of this. Yoda's got nothing to do with it.
All right, anyway, Ralph, initial impression. Give me that.
I avoided God of War. I don't really know why. It's not like I have anything against the
What are you,
franchise.
some kind of
or-
pacifist?
No, I mean, I guess. If
What are
wanna
you,
go-
a vegan?
Oh my god! You know my secret. I don't really like hack and slash that much as a genre. It's not something that I seek out, or this kind of action game where you just like beat up bad guys and move on to the next level and beat up some more, and now they're bigger and now they have armor and just button mash dot 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 dot. It's not my thing. It's sort of like Devil May Cry. I just not a genre that I seek out. And the only thing about God of War that I really vividly remember involves the third one. Like when that game launched, like it was a big deal. Like God of War 3, and like the graphics and the gore and everything really stood out to me, and I vividly remember it. But I actively just didn't play it. I'm not bashing it. I that's not my review. I'm just saying that I didn't play it as a kid.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, here we are now, 30 years later.
You have enough paper towel? You good?
You made me spill water. That was bad. All right, we got that out of the way. Let's get into some game development.
Game development.
All right, what do you got for some development there, Clark?
Okay, so I have that the developers claimed that they wanted to take the action of Devil May Cry and do the kind of the puzzles of Ico.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally think they missed the mark on both of those accounts.
Yep.
I don't,
Puzzles?
turn
a crank!
Yeah, I don't think they nailed the puzzle solving in Ico, and I think it's inferior combat to Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that to an extent.
That is Clark's final thoughts.
No, because
The end.
this came out to battle Devil May Cry 2. They roughly came out around the same time.
Is that the one with the pizza intro, or is that a different Devil May Cry? Which one's the pizza intro?
The first one.
Is it?
Where he gets a pizza?
And he's like doing somersaults with a piece of pizza in his hand.
And
And a
we just set the
motorcycle.
record.
Yeah.
The original Devil May Cry came out 2001, so 4 years prior to God of War on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that is.
I don't think-
2005 is 4 years after.
No,
Math.
I think that the strongest point of this game is the combat. So maybe I just don't remember Devil May Cry well enough. I don't know, Steve. Are there any biplanes in God of War?
Just that one.
Just in God of War?
Yeah, it's the last 20 seconds of the game.
Yeah. When Kratos hops into the biplane and
right.
flies around into the clouds.
And the controls are inverted and everything. None of that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Control configuration that hasn't been introduced the entire game except for that point right there.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
so,
right.
so what I meant by that was I think that the combat system is not in the same vein as Devil May Cry. I think Devil May Cry is more for like stylized action, where I think God of War is more brutal / hack and slash game.
Okay.
With quick time events.
We'll get
A
there.
lot of quick time events.
We'll get there.
Quite a bit.
So David Jaffe actually gives more props to Onimusha than Devil May Cry. He wanted to do Onimusha, but with the Greek mythos.
Okay. Well, I think that's what you can see that.
And this is like the birthplace of like when quick time events became they started showing up in like every fucking game after God of War. Like, it was just around that same time. It was just the boom of all these QuickTime events. And I will say this. I think God of War did okay with the QuickTime events compared to some of the others. Like, some of the others, you're like, button mashing for fucking ever. Whereas this...
Yeah.
But also, like, there was some stupid uses of the button mashing and the QuickTime stuff in this as well, so... That's what I have for development.
A little bit. And I know one thing that he really wanted to do was kind of like integrate, because he was a fan of Heavy Metal Magazine, and that's where it's like
Kinky?
the violence and the sex are ramped up in this game compared to anything else compared to its time.
Hey, Steve, what's your favorite minigame in God of War?
When are you on the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah, the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
No.
smash any vases?
Some vases? Some vases?
Some vases?
Some badges?
No.
Wait, what?
Was that on the table?
Some Vassy.
No? Yeah? I don't know what you're talking about there.
some puss.
Like to take you upstairs and wonder if I could crush that puss.
Yeah.
This is the consent form. No, need you to sign here.
Kratos shows up wearing a fedora. Oh, my lady, can I smash that puss?
Jesus.
Crush the puss.
Crush the puss. Yeah.
That's my Kratos impersonation. You're going to be hearing it a lot.
No.
The chains of chaos.
Who made this game? Did we say who made this game?
Hideo Kojima.
No.
No.
How dare you?
No.
No. It was Santa Monica Studios,
Cool.
which are based out of Wyoming.
Good one.
Hey. No, this was by Santa Monica, which they started development, I think it was 2001, 2002. It took a while. So, hence referencing back to when Devil May Cry came out is pretty much when they're like, oh, hey, let's do our own thing.
Took a while for them to
Yeah.
to copy it all down.
A little bit.
Hey,
a lot of copy
Hey, I like
pasta.
this game. Let's reskin it and dumb it down.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
and his distinctive hair. Let's just go bald.
But I like the white
Let's
color.
take the. Damn it!
like the white
Oh,
and
that was a
red.
terrible high five.
Yeah.
Let's invert the white and red. Yeah. Weird.
Let's take his jacket and his hair. Kratos.
Throw it in a blender and then throw it on the wall.
We don't want him to be cool. We want him to be angry. Make him edgier.
I killed my family.
well,
Edgier.
let's.
I'm covered in their ashes. Edgier. Sex minigames. Edgier.
Quick time events.
There was a lot of edging. Yeah. Wow.
And that is the story segment of.
No, well, let's find out why he was so angry and roll our way into story.
Blue balls.
Blue balls? No, it's story, Ralph. Fucking story.
Story.
Okay.
So you're a Spartan.
So you're a Spartan.
You do some bad things. You make some bad deals. Your family's all dead-like, and you're really mad.
Yeah, you sell your soul to Ares,
Yeah.
Yes.
the god of war.
He is the god of war.
Actually-
currently.
Misconception. For some reason, I thought Kratos was the god of war
Ah.
the whole time, and then we started playing it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's
It makes
Ares.
sense because Ares or
Oh, right.
Mars
You didn't beat
and
the game.
I mean, I didn't. Yeah, okay, but I didn't really.
Yeah, because that actually...
You don't
That
meet
actually-
Ares at the end of the game. You see him in the game.
Yes,
but you fight him
But
at the
you
end.
understand why everyone calls Kratos the god of war.
Okay, because he defeats Ares.
Because, spoiler alert, he becomes the god of war
After he kills
after
the god
he kills
of war.
Ares.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so let's just do a brief.
yeah, do it.
It's a super simple story, really.
Yeah.
You know, you start off on the outskirts of Athens in a boat being attacked by a Hydra. Kratos kills the Hydra, is told by Athena that he needs to go to Athens to stop Ares, and that the whole hierarchy of the game is that gods are not allowed to attack other gods. That is like strictly forbidden.
Yep. Zeus said no.
So they proxy.
Yeah, so they proxy, they find champions. So essentially, Kratos calls on Ares to become his champion so that he can win the Spartan war and fulfill his desire to be great. Through that whole process, it gives him nightmares of all of these bad, terrible things that he's done. And one of those nightmares is the fact that he killed his wife and child.
And
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but that's lifted from Hercules' story, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I honestly don't know.
Okay, because I think that the reason that Hercules does like all these trials is because he killed his family, and I'm just trying to remember. I know that he's more Roman than Greek mythology, I think. But go.
I'm not up on my mythology, so.
After Athens, you're running around Athens, and you realize you won't be able to defeat Ares.
Yeah, because he's 600 feet tall.
Right, he's a giant.
He's a big bitch.
Athena comes down and says, "Hey, you need to go get Pandora's box. It's out in the desert." You go out to the desert. You climb onto Kratos, which is the last living Titan. And if you don't know, Titans were the god killers, essentially, in Greek mythology.
I thought they were the parents of the gods. Is that not right?
There's a Titan in God War.
Like, I thought Zeus's father was Kronos or something. No?
I don't think so.
All right.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know like the Titans go to war with the gods, always. So you climb to the top of Kratos. Kratos has the Pandora's box in it. Kratos grabs the Pandora's box, takes it back, gets tricked by Ares, and Ares essentially... Well, he doesn't get tricked. He gets impaled, and the box gets taken from him by Harpies. The Harpies carry the box back to Ares. Kratos climbs his way out of Hades, and then... Yeah, he climbs his way out of Hades and then confronts Ares, gets the box open, becomes a god, pretty much raises his like actual like physical stature to meet Ares. They fight. Kratos defeats Ares, and they're like, "Hey, so the gods kind of played another trick on you. We're not going to get rid of your nightmares. We'll forgive you for your sins, but we're not going to get rid of your nightmares."
It's a bad deal.
Yes, because what he asked for originally was get rid of my nightmares to Athena, and she said, "We'll forgive you of your sins if you take out Ares."
He didn't read the fine print.
He essentially he didn't like listen. He thought it was an agreement. Because Kratos
I knew I should have listened.
Yeah.
So then she was like, "Look, your ultimate prize is actually I'm going to offer you to take Ares' place," and Kratos does.
Yeah.
And becomes the god of war, and that's the story of the game.
Okay.
After he tried to off himself at the very end. He found the highest cliff, threw himself off of it, and then the gods lifted him back out of the water and took him back to the top. And that's when Athena says,
"Right,
we will not let someone of the ability that you have, let them take themselves out at their own hands. We have more of a purpose for you." And then that's when it's like ascend up to with the gods and take the throne as the new god of war.
So I just wanted to get the general thing out of the way.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting part of that whole story is that the reason that Kratos is like pale white and red is because he essentially this witch type woman outside of his village witnesses him kill his wife and child, and then converts their bodies to ash, and he has to wear their bodies as a constant reminder for what he had done.
I think she was kind of like their own, like it was like the town's oracle or something like that.
Yeah, like oracle,
something around that. But
witch lady.
Yeah, either way,
they don't really get into what she is.
I think I remember them referencing her as something, but I forget. It was like they said it once, and then that was it. It was just the old lady that laughed at him and covered him in his dead family's ashes.
Right.
You know what's another good way to make sure someone doesn't forget something? Give them really bad nightmares about it for the rest of their life.
Oh. You know what happened?
They're double dipping here. Like, okay, we get it.
Well, here's the thing. That's to assume that the gods are the ones giving him the nightmares, where it could just be a traumatic event has given him like PTSD of the nightmares and stuff like that. That's kind of how I always interpreted it. He just was trying to get the gods to take the nightmares away.
Right.
But
though
Harry, you have a lot of nightmares, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Very consistently.
You're also bald.
and he has a beard.
Whoa.
Wait a
And
minute.
I'm the god of war.
Oh my god! It's true.
Hold on, let me get a knife. We need to give you a nice, sweet little scar.
Yeah, a little scar.
Oh, I got one. Let me grab my
Oh, I
bag.
have one like right in between my eyebrows from smashing it into a bookshelf.
What? Dude, this is weird.
Oh, shit.
What else do you have that's like Kratos?
A boat with whores?
A boat full of whores.
Boats and hose?
Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
What was that? What event was that at? Fuck.
Boats and hoes?
Yeah, well,
The international
The something Catalina.
yeah,
the
something
Catalina. Fuck the
The Internationale?
No,
What-
he
what
was
is-
on the right page. The
I just watched this like 2 weeks ago.
What are we talking about?
shut up, Ralph.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
No.
No, it's going to drive me nuts.
We'll look it up in an intermission. Something.
Intermission.
All right,
I'm
just going to belt it out whenever.
There you go. You know what? It will just be in the middle of graphics and all of a sudden, like, that's it. I do like where they didn't give you the complete entire story right up front. You actually learned about it throughout the game as it went. I feel
Like
like
a story does? Brutal. Sorry, Steve. Do you mean that they did like
no, I don't fucking care, Ralph.
The Catalina wine mixer.
There you go.
No, like you mean like you think you think you know Kratos, and then you get little glimpses of his
Yeah, and pretty much just that, without all the wise ass remarks.
Okay. Okay. Anything else for story?
Was there any standout parts to either of you guys that you thought was positive or negative? I mean, honestly,
Because we're being quiet about the story. I mean, I like the fact that it is Greek mythology, even though they take a lot of liberties and they do whatever they want with it. And again, I'm not an expert, but just the setting of ancient Greece and having like fun with the gods and what they can do and the Titans and all that. I appreciate that kind of thing. I appreciate that.
Say appreciate one more time.
I appreciate when when history is used in that way. I mean, again, it's
appreciate
loose, but it's good.
Wow. I like the setting of this story. Like the whole. I know. I'm just.
Go ahead.
Do you appreciate it, Harry?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Is it loose?
Is it loose?
It's loose, but I appreciate it.
I like the dark tone of it. Like there are those certain moments when, like the sacrifice to get
Okay.
into that one chamber, and the one guy's like screaming for his life, and you're dragging his body up that hill in the cage.
Thank you for helping me. No, this is not it.
Like Kratos is not the good guy.
Yeah, he's a villain. They make
He
him
is a villain.
Like with the captain, the sea captain that shows up twice.
Oh, who's in the Hydra? Yeah,
Yeah.
Who's originally you see him like dangling from the Hydra's throat.
Oh yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
here to save you.
Yeah, so he grabs the key, kicks him down the Hydra's throat, and then when he's in Hades and he's falling to the pit or falling to the blood sea, he grabs onto the captain, who somehow managed to grab onto a pillar, climbs up over, like stabs him and climbs up his body, and then the guy's like, "Oh God, not you again!" He just kicks him in the face into the fucking pit. It's just like Jesus.
He fucks him over twice. It's like, no.
He killed him and then damned his soul.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Kratos is a douche.
It's a little fucked up, not gonna lie.
I'm gonna say I was surprised that I had to sacrifice that guy. Like, wait, do I have to do this? Like, this is, oh no, oops.
I mean, you're running around ripping heads off of fucking dead bodies and
Yeah, but-
slamming them into doors
I know.
with the shape of skulls.
You're
So
right.
open them up. Like,
You're right.
To build into that though, so like the inscription that was on that door, it did say you must make the biggest sacrifice, and there's a dead body that's like it's not worth it and everything like that.
Yeah.
To make that scene a little bit more epic, I guess it should have been tailored to whoever's trying to get into that door. Like what could have what could Kratos have
his sacrifice.
Yeah, like that wasn't a sacrifice. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll just sacrifice. Like
He already killed his family.
That guy is a key to him and nothing more.
Yeah, but life is the ultimate sacrifice. They didn't specifically say your greatest sacrifice. They just said the biggest sacrifice.
I guess.
But I get what you're saying.
Or Kratos give up his blades.
Yeah.
No, they were burned into his arms. They're attached. He can't.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but something he values would be his blades.
He doesn't value them. He sees them as a burden, Ralph. Jesus,
I
did
see
you
where this
play
is
the
going.
game?
I see where this is going. Okay.
I'll say this about Kratos, and not to get too spoilery. In the fourth game, they do more for his character development in the first 3 hours of that game than they do in the entire set of games before. There's like 5 or 6 games with Kratos in it. None of them make you actually feel or give a damn about him at all. I felt a little sad at the end of 3, but like, you know, like this game shows how shallowly just anger driven Kratos is, and that's his just one emotion that carries through almost all of the games up until the last one.
That's
Gotcha.
his character flaw. To make you not
That's his character.
feel like remorse.
That's it
for him. Like
Yeah, he
like,
has no other mood than anger.
like a part of like playwright is like any character that you would kill, like in a tragic play. You give those characters character flaws so you can blame it on that, like, oh, that person wouldn't have gotten killed if it wasn't for this behavior or whatnot. Like I said, that's his main character flaw, to not make you so dreadfully depressed when you see what happens to him. It's like, well, he did that to himself.
Harry's getting deep. Like 2 knuckle deep.
deeper than the developers.
Deeper than the pits of Hades.
Okay.
Probably move on to gameplay.
Yeah, I think so. Let's slash our way over into some gameplay.
Gameplay.
let's press X repeatedly into gameplay.
Oh, mine was R2 to
R2
lift the door,
repeatedly. Yeah.
which is not easy on a PS4 controller.
Yeah, R2
It's got the trigger.
R2
Yeah.
is not a button you think to mash.
Yeah,
A shoulder
not.
button, they're not mashing buttons.
You can mash L1 or R1. The triggers, though, like, no.
Yeah.
Mashing this controller into my TV, how frustrating it was.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the gameplay. Like, I personally feel like the combat is all right.
20 combos. There's only about 20 combos, is what you had said.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to make a really robust combo system, but it basically defaults to there's only like 20 that are worth it.
Okay.
I just don't think it's as in-depth as a lot of people like say it is. I just don't see it. And the quick time events to kill big bosses was kind of annoying. That's the only way you can do it. Like the bigger guys, like the trolls and stuff, you have to kill them with like button presses.
Not necessarily.
Like the quick times.
You can do that so you can get extra, like some of them gave you health, some of them gave you magic, some of them gave you like the red gems, but you didn't have to.
Right.
It was a little bit longer to not do the quick time event. You're not completely forced with it.
And that's another like thing I would say honestly is a flaw. Like not knowing that I didn't have to do that would have been great because I would have just fucking done that.
Yeah, when you get the circle prompt, like if you just
you're like,
continue
okay,
heavy
I have
attacks.
to do.
No. Yeah, he's right though. You don't have to do it.
And there is like the text box that comes up to tell you can do this for this whatever extra attribute or like bonus you would get out of it.
The Medusa snakes will give you purely magic
yeah.
orbs.
And then the what was it? The Minotaurs will give you health. Forget the other ones. Just kind of some of them are kind of like a medley of everything, where you get
Yeah.
a smorgasbord of orbs.
The Medusas were annoying.
Yeah.
And they're designed to be, but I found that doing their quick time finisher was the hardest to do for me. I'd rather have a button prompt than using the control stick in certain directions. I don't know, it's just because
I like going back and forth, yeah.
the way that I'm wired now to do quick time events with button prompts rather than the stick, and I guess it's something they worked out because that's not normally something I think of. I don't know. You guys have played some more QTE games like Heavy Rain and
They do both.
Detroit.
I honestly think there's a pretty even mix. Like in Detroit, you have to use sticks, you have to use the triggers, you have to use everything.
Yeah, but I think it's like hitting a certain direction, like left or right, not like a hit down and then swoop up.
Oh, yeah, no, nothing that stupid.
Do a 360.
I mean, you have
Left,
to do that stuff in Heavy
clockwise.
Rain. Like, you do have to do like turning motions and things like that.
Yeah, but it was never like in a rush situation.
Right,
Like it was
right.
like, hey, open this door. Like, not like, holy crap, if you don't fuck this up.
That's it. You got to start over.
Isn't the beginning fist fight like that though?
I don't know.
For what? Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
Harry blocked it out.
No, I think
Harry said-
that is more just the actual more the shapes and then like left or right. I don't think it's so much of like the rotation of the stick so much. I don't know. It's been a long time since I played that anyway.
So I'll just get it out of the way now, though. Like, that is that was my breaking point for this game. It was that troll boss that breaks through the door that has the armor on.
The Robo Bull.
Robo Bull
Yes.
is a better.
And you have to do the swipes, and you have to nail like 6 of them in quick succession, or he throws you off, and you
That's
just
it.
got to do it over again. There is no beating your way through that boss. You have to do the button prompts. And then I finally did it. And I'll say I spent 45 minutes working on him.
Oh.
Just getting past the 6 swooshes. Actually, I kept getting thrown off. I probably did it close to 100 times in a row.
Jesus, I think there's something
Damn,
wrong with your
dude.
controller.
And then I nailed it, right? And then it just weakened his armor. I had to do it again.
You have to do
And
it 3 more times. Yeah, I
Three-
think 3 times.
Yeah, you have to do it 4 times. You do one for each one of the lights, and then you run around and you spear him.
So yeah, that I couldn't do it. My controller, the way I was doing it, it just like wouldn't register. Like
I wonder
That
if the sensitivity is
sucks.
different. Like because it's a port of a PS2 game that was remastered for a PS3 game, and he's playing it on a PS4. That maybe there's something lost in translation there because
Well, also, you were streaming it, too.
yes.
They're pretty quick prompts. I'm wondering if there was any sort of lag.
Some of it
maybe,
was
yeah.
like really quick. Like if I didn't like, some of them were only giving me like a second. Some of them like as soon as it flashed on the screen, it's like you failed.
It
Like as
felt-
soon
yeah.
as it.
There were a few different bosses in the rest of it where it was pretty unforgiving when it came to the amount of time you actually had to hit the QTE.
That was the third of 3 things that happened in my one sit down that just destroyed my morale for this game.
obliterated.
Well, we're in the gameplay section,
Crushed.
so what are the other 2?
So the second one was all 3 were actually in the Hades trial challenge.
On
Hades-
top of Kronos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The Hades challenge in the rings. I forget what they call it. The rings.
Pandora's ring.
Yeah, I think
of
that's what they call it.
Pandora?
The Rings of Pandora. And I did the other 2. Like the second one was Poseidon's challenge, which was cool. I had no problems with that. And then I did the Hades. And the first part, there's this. I think it's quickly after you unlock a room. Then there's this pit that just keeps opening up with lava underneath, and you have to jump over it. And the first pit is super easy to get across. But then there's the second pit that's like out of range of your like normal jumping range, and you got to like land on this platform that's like opens and closes 3 times really quick, and then there's like a delay, and then it just keeps repeating that process.
Yeah.
Like I kept respawning like right where the first pit jumps. Did that like 150 times.
150 times.
I just got to the point where I would just like load and just start running right away. I wouldn't even try to time it at that point
Yeah.
because I was doing it so many times. I was like, this is just going to be a luck thing at this point, not a skill thing. And I literally sat there. It was probably another 45 minutes just working on that part alone.
I feel like
And that was the first obstacle in this game that really slowed my progress because I was like tanking through this game, and then I hit that point, and it took me forever. And what sucked is because right after that point, you go into the maze, right?
Yeah.
And then I died at some point in the maze, but there wasn't a save point in that maze,
Yeah,
and
you
it took
do it
me
again.
back to before the lava jump again.
No.
And then, so that was the first point that really.
Was it the big like hallway boulder that like squish you or something?
No, it was the
Not boulder,
there's one hallway where the floor just like breaks apart, and you got to run down the whole hallway to get to 2 chests at the end.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I fell in the last.
So lava again.
Yeah, lava again.
Ugh.
So that was the first point that really turned my morale, and this was yesterday actually, because I tanked through like a good like I want to say 70% of the game the first sit down I had with this game, and then I was just gonna crank out the last couple things because it was Rings of Pandora, and then there was like the Cliffs of Madness or something like that, and then it's like on to Ares.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it was like I was like, cool. I just got to get through this last section of the game, and I'm like donezo. So I hit the lava thing. That was an issue for quite some time, and then I got to. And this was an issue I had early in the game when you're on the boat with the balance beams where you got to walk across the water, and there was
Yeah.
that pivot point where I kept falling at the ship.
I know the pain.
That was a pain in the ass. And so this one was the spinning wheel thing.
Yeah, where you had to, like the blades were coming out, and you had to go along the beam and try to like get as much as far as. Yeah, I died so many times right there.
So many times.
I didn't die that many times there.
that was probably another 45-minute segment for me. 150 times again, just doing it over and over again. And I didn't
see, dude. You got to take breaks.
I think you do.
When you like, dude, I do the same thing like with like Dark Souls bosses though. Like if I really come up against something and I can't beat it, I'll literally like make sure I stop myself, walk away, and then come back. Because you're still thinking about it when you're walking away, but you're not just doing something. Usually I can come back and like hit it first or second try.
That's what happened with me with those at the when you're making your way out of Hades with the spinning pillars with the blades when you're going up. Like last night, I could not get past that to save my life at all, and I ended up I basically rage quit. I got pissed. I'm like, fuck it, it's late. I'm going to bed. I'm not fucking doing this. And I probably spent at least like 20 minutes on it, and then today just finishing it up took me like 3 tries. No problem. I got hit like twice going up, and I was like, what the fuck was my problem last night? But I know where it's like you get like so focused in on it, and then the rage builds.
You know what it is? You watched The Completionist, right?
No.
Oh, I think you said you did.
No.
Where my rage is coming from on this is because I'm crazy. But like, it was a very the controls of the game issue. It wasn't like
you were falling, or you were like he just slipped off and died.
like
or
he's
would hit the
falling, but he
ledge.
wouldn't get up quick enough, and then as soon as you do get up, the blade hits you, or you go to jump over the blade, which I didn't realize you could jump over the blades for a long time. I was just trying to run.
I just double jumped
God.
it.
You made it harder on yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Oh no!
but it was just like the controls of the game, like you were mentioning hitbox earlier. Just
Yeah.
like
Too
everything
loose.
everything doesn't line up. I don't. It feels shitty. The controls feel fucking shitty,
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
and it was a very frustrating aspect of the game because I know what to do. I can see it on the screen, but the control scheme is just not letting me because there's just like with the jump over the pit, there's like a hidden barrier. So like you can't run off the ledge to jump. Like he runs up to the edge and then it slows your
Stops,
momentum.
yeah.
It stops you, and then you like there's like certain physics with it. Like it's just certain things that were developed in this game make for a very frustrating experience.
I ran into that with I think it was Poseidon's challenge where you're diving into the hole and then there's that
The
spiked
block of
wall.
spikes, yeah.
Yeah, that keeps going so many times because I'm trying to do like the speed rush and I get caught on something a little bit, and a lot of parts in this game there's like very, very small room for error, and if you fuck up, you died, and then you have to keep doing it over and over, and then you get stuck in that vicious, angry cycle of what the fuck, I just want to get past this.
It's a shame though, because like the actual fighting aspect, I actually did enjoy with this game. Like I like the Devil May Cry games a lot, and it did feel like that. I like leveling up that character to get new abilities, really start strengthening your weapons. Like I got to tier 5 of the Blades of Chaos.
Me too.
Yeah.
And just like some of the little minions, you're just like one-shotting them. Like when you are like walking on the rope and the guys are coming from both sides to try to kick you off. Kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like once you get max or to tier 5 with that, you hit triangle once and it just cuts them in half.
Yep.
Like first swing.
They do really go out of their way to make you feel powerful when you have powerful things in the game, and that is something that I also appreciated. To what you were saying too, I really think that is a sign of the times, man. Like there's no good platforming done in that era that was also a combat-based game. Devil May Cry's platforming was frustrating as fuck too. It wasn't as unforgiving though.
Yeah.
Like you would just fall down to a spot.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
you
you'd
could
have
jump back
to
up.
jump again.
But if you think about all the times you like missed a jump in Devil May Cry, and then if you add a death to that, you're like, oh fuck, yeah, okay. But it's just I think it's a matter of the time, and that doesn't give them a pass by any means because they were developing it at that time. But yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said.
I didn't find the platforming to be. I didn't have the trouble that you did. I was double jumping over the blades, and the lava pit. I did die a couple times there, but I had more trouble trying to cross that one rope when you're getting shot at by archers because I didn't go to the right path first and just whoop all the archers. I went straight to the rope and tried to cross where you have to fight guys, and if you get hit by one arrow, you drop. So I died like maybe 10 times before I said, wait a minute, can I go over there and kill those guys? And did it. That's when I got the trophy that was like, trophy for dying so many times, apparently, which is a thing on the PS3 version, the remastered version.
Is it death by any means to get that trophy? Because I probably have it then.
Yeah, if that's the thing. It may have just popped up. Yeah.
I don't think you didn't even notice it.
Times?
I didn't die that many times, I don't think.
No,
Harry
Harry's
was
claiming
Harry was so
died
blinded
almost
with rage he
450
didn't
times.
realize he's getting trophies.
Yeah.
It's like fuck, fuck.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about the dogs.
No.
The 3-headed dog.
The little Cerberus.
Cerberus, thank you. I wanted to talk about how, that first time I fought them, it went badly. Like I had 3 full adult Cerberus on me, and Cerberi had trouble with them.
Cerberus, please.
Until I figured out that you had to take out the runts first. Do you guys have any stories or anything with that, or
Pretty much was
pretty straightforward?
the same thing where I didn't attack the pups first. I
Right.
went for the big one, and then they grew, and then the exact same thing. I had 3 of them on me, and I died. And then the next time, that was the only time that I ever had a problem, because after that, I was so relentless on just slaying them as fast as possible that I think other than the very first one, I never saw the full-grown Cerberus after that.
Yeah, you're right. Enemy types that annoyed me, I want to say that was one initially, but I don't know what they're called, but the guys who could phase into the ground and then come up at you,
like the
they disappear. They disappear after like a couple hours into the game. I noticed like they just stopped showing up, which I was thankful for. It wasn't so much. I mean, it wasn't that they would hit you and then almost like there was no defense for it. At least I couldn't figure out what my defense should be for them. Obviously, with them, you grapple them and you can whoop them pretty easily. But the sound they made, it was like a cat being strangled. And if you had 3 or more of them on you at one time, it just became like this symphony of pain that I didn't want to listen to.
Symphony of pain.
Wow, that's so metal, Ralph.
A little bit.
It's metal as fuck.
That and just some of the later guys, they're just time consuming. It's like, okay, I'm gonna whoop this thing. All right, I mean, just heavy attack. Okay, yep. Okay, heavy attack again. Dodge. Dodging with the control stick was kind of weird at first, but I guess I got the hang of it. You guys have anything to say about that?
I fucked up a few times thinking that I could just move a camera, and I just kept rolling. I'm like,
Same here.
fuck.
Maybe we should talk about the camera. Fixed camera.
Yeah.
That was a throwback. It's been
Yeah,
a
it
while
was.
since I played a game that had a fixed camera like that. For the most part, it was
Not a
effective.
static camera though, just fixed. Like it'll move with you, but
Yeah.
you can't change the angle.
No.
Right. So going back to your beam walk, the perspective would change on you, and then that's it. Like you got to adapt or die.
Yeah, typically. I mean, thankfully, a lot of it was overhead. But I wanted to see, like, for a while, I didn't know what path I should take because I couldn't look at the upcoming challenges. I had to, figure it out as I go, like, in the moment.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I went the wrong way. And I'm like...
Just in there. Oh, I went the wrong way.
Is the sound that Harry was making as he was just destroying one of his controllers.
I was trying to come up with like a funny title for this game to mention in the episode, like God of Blood or God of Chests or something. But it's like I'm thinking now,
Those
like
are
there's a
hilarious.
lot. Oh yeah, there are a lot of chests in this game. Like, and you have to hold the. And it's just it got
You
old.
mean
I
with
was
the
like, wow.
items or the women?
Yeah,
Both.
Yeah, I see what
The
you did
tits
there.
of war.
Teats of destruction. No, the chests just got annoying to me.
Whoa, chests get annoying?
Whoa.
Yes, like the treasure chest
Oh.
for magic, experience, or
Yeah.
health.
And what's like the
Just got
R2
tired.
mash to open every fucking door in this game?
Yeah, don't like it.
Ugh.
They overused the button mashing QTE stuff.
Now, I will say, as far as button mashing goes, like if in most games, if you can consistently hit, like let's say it's an X button prompt, you hit it at a steady pace. I don't know, for like 5 seconds, and you clear it. In this game, you have to like hit the button feverishly, or you're not getting the achievement for it. Like I can't.
You were
Like, you think about,
vigorous
like,
in your
killing the
mashing.
Minotaurs or whatever.
Like yeah, the Minotaurs.
yeah.
Every time I had to turn the controller, get my like index finger, and like really pound that shit, or I'm not killing.
Oh my god, guys! I wish you could see what he's doing with his hands.
Oh my god!
I
yeah,
watched
it
him
was
do that trick
fantastic.
before about 10 years ago. It's impressive.
But you know what I mean though. Like
I do.
He's chafing. He's chafing.
you had to like ramp up your button mashing skills, or you're
wasn't
not
so
getting
bad for
anyway.
Harry's just sitting there with the tiger bum because he starts getting a cramp after a little
It's
while.
pretty average for me. I could do more. I'm the Mario Party button mashing master over here.
All right, Nintendo boy.
Anyway, what else for gameplay that jumps out?
I don't think there is anything. I think we could probably move on. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I would say for the most part. Oh, I did want to at least ask.
Weapon of choice.
Yeah, like favorite special.
Oh.
Like out of
right,
of
right.
the four, what was everybody's favorite special?
Zeus's ability, the lightning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait,
I think that's
Or
Poseidon,
sorry, yeah,
actually.
Poseidon.
Poseidon. Yeah,
Because
Poseidon's.
you could throw
the area
balls.
effect one.
Yeah, the
So I
AoE.
like the range. I like having a range
okay.
ability, so I would do the lightning bolts.
although I also do like the Hades ability as well.
that was my go-to once it came
army?
up. It ate up a bunch of magic compared to some of the other ones, but I love you could be like almost like a full screen away, hit it, and they're on it, tearing that shit up.
What's the big purple blades called? What's that called? Is that Artemis?
Yeah, Blades of Artemis.
I liked using that because I looked at them as like light and heavy.
yeah,
For what the kind of damage that you do.
That's pretty much what it was. And plus, once because I didn't really touch leveling up the special abilities that much, like only
Neither
like
did I.
a couple of them. It was more based on the actual, what am I using the most part? Melee. Once you get the Blades of Artemis completely leveled up, they just start taking so much red orbs from anything you killed. It's like at least doubled for any enemy. Like that really helped out towards the end of the game when they started dropping a lot. I mainly relied on them, and it was just, not to mention just the stupid amount of damage that they did. It really didn't take too much extra compared to the Blades of Chaos, and I got a lot of orbs. Give me them orbs.
All the orbs.
All the
All
orbs.
the orbs.
Orb.
Now, does the blade change color when you max that out as well?
Yeah, it turns
'Cause
red.
The Chaos Blades, well, yeah, it went from like orange to red when
Yep.
when you max it out.
Yeah, it started going through like a different like color scheme, and then it's pretty much the same as the Blades of Chaos. Once you fully max it out, completely red. It's pretty cool.
It's
Pretty
tight.
rad.
Yeah,
It's loose.
tubular.
The controls are loose.
Never mind.
No, not. I wouldn't say loose, just not accurate.
Yeah,
Action-y.
no, some of the mapping was fucked. All right, so I think we covered some gameplay. Let's and on Harry's butt brown note, let's move on into some graphics.
You gonna keep that in?
Graphics.
The people fart on this podcast, so the graphics were pretty violent for 2005. I would say
Gory?
There was a lot of gore. I know when you were talking about with the like the finishers on the different creatures, like with the sirens, that was, even though it wasn't the most graphic, just like grabbing hold of them and
Snapping
bending
them?
them backwards and snapping their spine. That was, when I saw that, I'm like, whoa, that's a little rough.
Wasn't there another one with the sirens, or is that where he bashed their head repeatedly on the ground, or is that not the siren?
No, that was the siren.
No, that was the siren also.
Well, after you kill the three.
Yeah.
The three were the snappies, and then after that, you had other ones, which I didn't even realize at first when just first starting out, when you would grapple the regular minions, or the, what do they call them? The Legionnaires.
Yeah.
And instead of just repeatedly stabbing them, if you hit either square or triangle, like there were multiple different ways that you could just take them out as a quick finisher.
No. Yeah, I don't think I realized that. I mean, I noticed that later some enemies, and again, we're back to gameplay, some enemies, when you would try to do like the grapple or the finisher, it would do like a different move, and then they would not die from that. You'd have to do it again to get the finisher, or at least it seemed that way.
Yeah. I mean, graphic wise, I mean that was pretty much the biggest thing that stood out was just the amount of gore and violence in it. I forgot how much that was actually like prevalent. And I know, Ralph, you're gonna have your own comments towards me about this, but I never remembered like so much like game skin that was in it, I guess is the nice way to put it.
There were a lot of boobs in this game.
A lot of boobs. Like I'm saying, it's like the first time I think you see it is on the boat. I'm like, oh, game boobs. And I was actually sitting on the couch playing, and Morgan was sitting on the couch over. She's like, are those boobs in the game? I'm like, apparently there is. And then just kept playing through. It's like, all right, there's a lot of digital titties in here. It's like, okay. It's like, what kind of digitits? Digitits for tats.
Yeah, the Oracle stands out with her see-through, I would even call it a shirt.
All right.
Her lingerie.
I gotta call out something about the Oracle.
Uh-oh.
Did you notice that when it is the in-game engine, she has green clothing on and brown hair, and then when it goes to the cutscene, she is white clothes, red hair.
It didn't match up.
It
No,
did
I
not
didn't notice
match
that.
up at all.
Weird.
It was ridiculous. Like, it was just like, did you guys like forget when you were doing the digital remaster? Like, I don't get it. I don't know how you like fuck something up that badly. That was really my only gripe with the graphics. Graphics were all right. Like, the character models looked pretty good, and I like went back and looked at some of like the originals, like stills from the original, and like they're good for the time. I don't think it's like graphically superior to anything at the time. Yeah, I think the character design's cool. I like the look of Kratos. I like the look of some of the creatures and stuff. I think there's like interesting takes on some of the classics. That's all I really have to say about graphics, honestly. There's not much.
Before we move on, I just wanted to say I know why her frock was white. Her
Semen?
frock.
Why?
I don't know why her hair was red, but her frock was white because she was a little too close to the funeral pyre. It was ash.
Is that like actually a thing?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just fucking around.
Wow.
Oh, dude, you're gonna love Dark Souls 3 because they call you Ashen One the entire game.
You're right. I have a penchant for a good ashing. Doesn't sound right. Does not sound right.
Ooh.
Harry, did you want to go graphics?
Sure. It's actually, for this category, I think it's hit or miss depending on the point in the game you're in. So I like a lot of the enemy models. Specifically, I know we were mentioning the sirens. Like the actual character models for those. I thought they were really cool with that giant gaping mouth with the teeth, and they're just like singing almost to the sky as they're like gliding around. I thought that was really cool looking and very eerie looking.
You're creepy.
Yeah. A lot of the enemies, I thought they're pretty well done. Some of them are like when you get to like the Minotaurs, I know some were wearing armor, and there was some kind of behemoth that walked and acted like the Minotaurs, but it wasn't a Minotaur. Like
The thing with the giant like
Hammer, like a war hammer.
no, like the mace or like the flail, like the giant ball, spiked ball.
yeah, I don't know, but
yeah,
apparently
trolls.
it's a different creature altogether. Because when I was reading a guide, they were like Medusa's stare ability will work on the Minotaurs, but not on this other creature. But they like enemy model wise, they look very similar, like almost like a repalletization or something like that. So I think that was a little sketchy. And then we get to the environments. So let's just briefly talk about the environments. There is some really well done environments in this game. Like I think the desert looks really cool when you're up on the cliffs and you see the Titan just walking out with the fortress on his back. I thought that was kind of cool looking. I like the whole Poseidon challenge. Like I thought that looked really amazing. Like there's some really amazing looking places in the game. And then there's some that are just like kind of lame and dull and just really boring to the eye. Like Athens comes to mind. In general, I thought Athens was very boring, very gray area, and that's like your first big environment to explore in the game, and it really bored me.
It was plain.
Yeah, it was very unappealing to the eye.
Oh yeah, I think of the one street. Like you're walking down, you can go in the houses.
Yeah.
You can break down the doors. That's really bland there.
I think that was the biggest highlight of Athens when I was thinking of that place. I just, in general, I thought it was extremely boring. The only thing I like about Athens is whenever I guess a Spartan jumps onto the screen, he dies. Like you know he's gonna die. Like any NPC that comes out, and I remember this one scene because I kept fucking it up at this one part. I think it was some kind of balancing part. But every time I load, there would be this group of Spartans turning around this corner, and they're like, "Charge!" Oh, you know what? They were crossing a bridge, and they get bombarded with something that makes them explode.
Oh yeah.
I died quite a few times there, but every time I'd load, charge, blah, charge, blah. Charge is just over and over again. So if you see any NPCs that are human in the game, put bets that they're going to die like within 30 seconds.
There really aren't many that actually. Well, I can't even say many that live. There's almost, like you said, there's almost none.
Exactly. You even do some of the killing yourself.
Yeah, Kratos kills in cold blood.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that. When was that? Because there was like the townspeople like running away in
there's
like
a
the
whole
square.
yeah, where you can just like feed off of them for health when you're fighting some of these ogres, and they just keep respawning, and you're just slaughtering them. And a lot of times you're having this fight, and they just run right in between you and that ogre, like it was some kind of wise decision of them.
And it's like, oh, health orb. Oh, health orb. Oops.
I'm gonna play jump rope with the chains of chaos. Oh god.
Those character models look really poor, by the way. Like they were just like fodder.
The civilians.
They were really poor looking. I don't think they were even the right scale, to be honest.
They
were peasants.
And Kratos
smaller.
is supposed to be 8
'cause you said
feet,
poor.
apparently.
He's supposed to be 8 feet.
Yeah, apparently.
Wait, Kratos?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but
saw that
still,
online.
Athens might be like the city of midgets then.
No, those were children, Harry.
city of little people.
So
Jesus.
just slaughtering
Those were
children.
innocent children you were slaughtering.
Well, it wouldn't be the first one he killed.
I just remember the guy on the bridge who's like holding the switch.
Oh yeah.
And Kratos is like, "Let me pass," and he's like, "No, I can't. I won't let those things."
that-
He's like, "Coward!"
And then
you kill him.
Yeah, you throw the Zeus's lightning bolt at him. It's
That
like,
was another
fuck you.
frustrating point in the game. I was thinking, I have to go back and kill all the enemies before he will muster up the courage to let me cross. I didn't know you had to fucking kill him for the longest time.
It's your first murder.
Because by nature you don't think like
Yeah,
you
achieve
think,
something.
I'm the good guy, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Very misleading.
A dark moment, to be
Yeah.
sure.
But no, overall look of the game, like I think there's a big disparity between like some really great looking highlights of the game and then some very dull, plain moments within the game.
Now, would you say they kind of, at least if you were kind of like grading just on the graphics themselves, like they kind of balance out, or do you feel like from like the overall gameplay, like it's tilting one way or
I would say the
another?
graphic section would tilt in favor of the game overall, but slightly. I'm not.
Yeah, not by like a large margin,
Yeah.
but just like ever so little bit.
Yeah, no, I give that one an edge.
Okay.
Living on the edge.
No, I do like. I like the world. I guess is
Yeah.
what I was getting to. I like the world that it's set in.
When I think of the graphics, I think of the highlights for me were like large scale things, like the Titans. Like, there he is. I'm going to go actually like climb on him and do all this. And because when I think of God of War, again, I think of God of War 3, like the opening level. Aren't you like climbing a Titan? Or is the Titan climbing a mountain and you're both?
climbing Kronos again.
Okay.
I believe it's Kronos.
I just think of like these huge scale things like that moment. I do like the design of the enemies and the layouts. And funnily enough, when I think of when I think of Kratos, I think of Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat.
He does look like him.
I was like, this is kind of like I'm getting like a Quan Chi, like
Quan Chi.
Quan Chi. The sirens kind of reminded me of like Melina with her big mouth and the whole deal. And then the Minotaur showed up. I was like, man, this is like a NetherRealm game is what I was getting at certain points, and obviously not throughout.
And Kratos being immortal, huh? And he was combating things.
The only other, I mean, you guys hit all the major points, but I did want to say that I played the PS3 bundle with just 1 and 2, because there's a bundle with 1, 2, and 3. I don't know the difference between those two versions, but in mine, whenever it was gameplay, everything was sharpened up, no jaggies,
Yeah.
and then when I'd go to a cutscene, boop, it was a standard definition cutscene tacked on to the HD version of the game, which to me is an eyesore and bugged me. But in terms of frame rate, I had like no drops. The game was flawless throughout. I'd say that's part of graphics, because if the hardware can't handle the graphics of the game, it'll slow down. So I just flawless 30 or 60 frames. I'm not even sure.
Took me back to a day.
Flawless, 2 frames a second. Yeah.
It was like,
Flawless painting.
I think PlayStation 2 was like 24.
Oh, to match like a television, like a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. It was nice to go back to the days of where loading took like 5 seconds.
Yeah, there was no loading for me, really.
No.
Nothing.
Because I was playing the same version, the bundle of just the 1 and 2. I didn't get the one with all 3.
Gotcha.
But that's only also because they redid 3 for PS4 and then released it for one of the PlayStation Plus games. So there was no sense in spending like the extra $5 or so, whatever it was, between the two.
I missed that one. Damn.
I don't remember experiencing any loading myself. I feel like that was by design, though. Like,
oh, like the staircases and stuff were in-game loading.
kind of
You know
like
what
stuff
I mean?
like that. Like
Or a long
like you're
hallway.
traveling to the next section was kind of like the loading.
Seamless, yeah. Like there was only, I think, other than obviously loading the games and reloading after dying 20 times in a row, that the actual in-game gameplay, there was maybe 2 or 3 times where it just popped up with a loading screen that wasn't really going into something else. I mean, even with going into the cutscenes, there really wasn't anything. It just kind of like, it all just kind of bled together.
It didn't take long to load those pre-rendered TDs.
No. They popped up pretty quick.
What did you call them?
I didn't say.
TDs.
I
That's
didn't-
what I thought.
I wanted to say
He's a
cities or
Jawa from
TDs.
Star Wars.
I got TDs.
And we're at Star Wars.
The TDs.
TDs.
Should they have maybe, classed it up and maybe put some pastries on her tits or something?
Pasties.
Oh wait, are we? No, we're not. Doing
No,
this
we're not
again.
doing it again.
What about good old pound cake?
What? No.
Though I will say, in the cutscene, the TDs, very lightly colored areolas. In the actual gameplay, like the ladies on the boats, very dark areolas. Like you could see them from all the way
Very
down
Mediterranean.
the hall. Very, very super Greek.
You got to lighten them up for a little ash on them.
Oh my god!
And sound.
It's like, oh, look at that skin.
And sound.
Kratos, don't leave us so soon.
All right, I think we pretty much hit everything with the graphics and Ralph's TDs. So
I know
let's
Kratos did.
Let's go into some music / sound.
Music.
I was going to say, I like some of the dialogue where he's like, when I get back, you better be gone. like a true man.
Jeez. Wait, when does he say that?
When he's leaving the boat, when you first dock into Athens.
And you
Does
dock
the-
it.
When did we first dock?
What? When you dock in Athens.
When did Kratos first dock?
I think that might be the 3rd time in that segment that he docked. The first 2 were vagina.
Yeah, right.
So anyway.
So anyway.
So yeah, when you dock in Athens.
Docking is sex.
No.
He's like,
I personally don't think there's anything like incredibly remarkable about the music. I thought it was like good and set piecey and like it tied with the game well, but it's nothing that I would like listen to outside of the game itself. And I thought what little voice acting was in the game was all right.
I would say Zeus and the Gravedigger are the best voice acting in the entire
That's
game.
because it's the
Because
same
Colonel.
guy.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, I really liked specifically the gatekeeper on Kronos. He just seems so like over people trying to come for the Pandora's box.
Oh wait,
really
the
sells
guy
it.
who was throwing the bodies on the yeah.
Yeah.
That was he's like, all right. And when he's doing it, the entire explanation. Here you go into the adventures to go find Pandora's box. May the gods look over you.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah, I know.
intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like really well played, that he's just like so over. He's like, oh god.
So sarcastic. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't fucking care. Go do it, and you die, and that's fine. Just go.
I could almost guarantee you I'm going to be throwing your body on the pile. Other than that, though, it was okay. I don't think there's anything super remarkable about it.
Yeah, enjoyed some of the voice acting. Some of it seemed a little over the top. Like it was just like more forced. Like you're really trying to be dramatic, and it's not coming off like that. Like the Oracle. Oracle just annoyed the fuck out of me the entire time. Just shut the fuck up. I'm coming for you.
I don't know what you mean.
Just stop. Stop.
Oh, I know who you're talking about with the Oracle now. You guys mentioned that earlier. I was like, who the fuck is the Oracle?
Yeah, the chick that gets gripped up by the harpy.
No, I remember distinctly the point where she's hanging and you got to do the whole the whole time thing. That was frustrating.
I'm slipping. Hurry, Kratos, help me. Kratos. I let her fall a couple times.
Just so you could work on the accent.
Yeah.
No.
Need to practice.
You're right. Clark, I do want to say, going off your point, that I feel the same way about the music. It's really not anything to write home about. There was some choir, though, that I thought you'd like, Harry.
There were actually some moments with the music I really liked.
Yeah.
That felt like, boom, it's becoming an epic tale. Like they'd hit some beats at certain transitions in the game that they really did well.
And, I think there's a subtle change in music when you do something right. Like when you...
Harry doesn't know what that sounds like.
I just mean like if you like complete a task, or if you figure out like a slight puzzle, because they're not really puzzles in this game. But like you open a door or something, the music will change a little bit. It's pretty standard fare.
Harry just remembers a lot of fuck. It's just how the song goes in his head now.
I've always thought that the voice of Kratos, I don't really know the actor, and I don't know him from other things. It seems well suited, and he's pretty much one note, sort of like the character is written.
Mm-hmm.
But the game actually does have like Steve Blum is Ares, apparently. Not that I spoke to him.
Who's Steve Blum?
Spike Spiegel.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I wouldn't have
some other voices.
realized that.
We talked about the Colonel. He's in there. I think Clancy Brown does some voice work as well. Nolan North is Hades.
So you have some familiar people that are strewn in there a little bit.
That's early for Nolan North, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about that, that might have been one of his firsts.
But yeah, overall the performances are kind of it's nothing crazy.
It's kind of like the
sound
graphics
department for me.
Hit and miss.
Other than those enemies that sound like strangling cats.
Cats in heat.
I think this game could have used more dialogue. There wasn't enough, and that does.
There's the voiceover lady.
Well, that ties into the story a bit, but I feel like it could have used a little bit more of that.
Yeah, like more NPCs for him to interact with, like a little more dialogue would have been good.
It's pretty.
I completely
Because there wasn't any like character building, and you do that through the dialogue. It's like I don't know who Kratos is as a person.
Dude, I'm telling you.
No, I know you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying but just looking at this game as in a vacuum, I just feel like this game could have used it.
There's literally about 20-25 minutes where you actually sort of feel anything for Kratos at the end of fucking God of War 3. And like that is it. And then, the new God of War is incredible, but I digress.
All right. I think we pretty much covered that, so let's keep going and get into some final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Some FTs. Some feet.
F to the T. Wow.
Final thoughts.
We're going to get at least 4, so we're going to be over a yard. A YD.
Oh my god.
YRD.
So I don't know. I'm a little conflicted with the final thought of it. I did have some moments where I enjoyed playing this again, and then just reliving utter frustration over and over and over again. But if anything, with now just talking about like the rest of the series and having all of it available, other than the newest one that just kind of came out, yeah, no, I'm glad we touched on this again. I dug it. It was enough. Plus, it was a little bit more of a shorter game. I didn't have to invest so much anger and frustration into it, just a little bit.
My stomach. You hear that?
Yeah, that was a full blown fart.
There's a little mouse or hamster stuck in my stomach.
Oh, all right, Richard Gere.
You should cook your food.
Stop putting gerbils up your butt.
Yeah, that's where you're going.
Having that Richard Gere dream again.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Lemmy winks, lemmy winks.
Richard Gere has like cold, dead eyes that really freak me
Like
out.
a goat's.
Like a doll's eyes.
like you know those people that their iris is so dark that it blends in with their pupil?
Goats, man. Goats have the fucking crazy. Have you ever seen goat eyes?
I don't really go around and just stare down goats,
Dude.
Are you the man who
goat
stares
eye,
at goats?
Listen. Have you never looked at like goat eyes before? They're misshapen. Their irises are not perfect circles.
You're
They're
blowing
like,
my mind right now.
dude, they look like fucking amoebas. They're like all over the fucking place. Goat eyes are fucking creepy as fuck, dude. Seriously, like I'm dead serious.
I believe you.
Oh,
Let's.
okay. I see what you're saying.
Hold on, let me see this goat eye.
They're from another planet.
Oh my God.
They're not from Earth.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a
Dude, they're
Let me,
fucking-
let me handle this.
Oh, yeah.
Let me handle this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that, yeah. Oh, them goat eyes, yeah. Ooh.
Goat's eyes are fucking weird, man.
That's why goat equals Satan.
Goat of war.
And if you'd like to join
Goat
us
of War.
on that, just Google goat eye.
You know, I would totally play God of War.
You know what this eye needs? A rhombus.
The rhombus is lonely.
Dude, I'm getting freaked out here.
That's all he's gonna
It's
say.
like a rectangle.
I know. That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't get it.
Those are all squinting too. Wait until you see them like wide-eyed and stuff. It actually looks like a fucking weird like.
Well, I always like to play the game of what list can I end up next. Wide-eyed goat eyes.
Eyes wide goat.
It's goatsy.
No, that's just a giant brown.
All right, I'll go
And
with
red.
my final thoughts while you're looking up goat eyes.
I'm looking up goatsy now.
Fleshy. Oh. Goatsy.cx.
That's Harry's review of this game. Goatsy.
Goatsy. Ralph would be more like Top Girl.
I've heard that in a long time.
Things that make you go, buh.
All right, guys. So my final thoughts on the game are: I thought it was a better game when it came out, obviously, and I just don't think it holds up to the standards and what I'm like accustomed to, and I think there's better combat-driven games of the time, and I think there's better platforming games of the time. Now, this game evolves into something I actually end up really enjoying, but for the starter, I don't really know. You know, like I get this is the origins, but it's definitely not the best.
Whew.
You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Ready to go?
Where to start with my final thoughts? I actually went into this game with a lot of high hopes.
Got high hopes.
I've known
Olympian.
about the game, and I know a lot of people like the game. So I was like, well, let's see what this is all about. But there were some aspects I really liked. I like the combat of the game. I like the leveling up in the game. It just some of those gameplay aspects just I don't know, really just like I said before, like destroyed my morale of the game.
It crushed your spirit, just like Eros wanted to do to Kratos.
Arrows.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ares.
I just baffled once again. Like I'd give it like an okay score. I think there's so many games on the market that people just like fucking praise, and I don't think it's warranted.
Like The Last of Us.
You know I love The Last of Us.
You know I'm kidding.
I get where you're coming from.
I don't know. It's just I feel like I've run into this quite a few times. I know you made that comment before we recorded tonight about how I'm gaining a new title or stealing a title, but I guess just once again, like I'm baffled at why a game is so critically acclaimed. It just it eludes me, and I'm not trying to be snobby or anything. I just feel like this game is a little overhyped.
Maybe we
Apparently, all the good parts of the last 25%.
I'm just saying, like I love Devil May Cry. I loved it when we revisited that before, and that game came years before this game. Like that,
4.
like they should have taken that concept if that's how they wanted to go with it, and improve upon it, or make it their own, but like I feel like they backtracked 4 years worth of development time. Just I don't know. And I feel like this game has a slight identity crisis to it. Like it wants to be this action game. It wants to be this puzzle game. It wants to be a platformer, and it just misses some important notes on each one of those. It just doesn't, like, it didn't commit to a particular path. It just took aspects of all these other genres and just didn't really come out forming its own thing. So,
Get it.
So I think that kind of wraps up my final thoughts on the game.
Going off what you're saying, to follow up from your points, like I feel similar in a lot of ways. To me, the combat was the focus. And they tacked on, oh, here's a puzzle, and here's some platforming, and really phoned it in. The combat was the main thing. They wanted to do a heavy hack and slash with Greek mythology. Boom, done. And going off what you're saying, Clark, I can kind of see, I can kind of see how this would be the progenitor of the franchise, but I assume that the sequels vastly improve it. Like, this is just getting your feet wet. This is just, here's the groundwork, or the foundation. We go from here, though the foundation is a little rocky. I, again, like the fact that it's a game based in Greek mythology, which I just think is cool, that someone brought that interest into a hack and slash. Ultimately, I don't think I wasted the time that I spent playing it, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to completing, and beating God of War for a PS4. But I might go back and play God of War 3, I don't know. But it was a good experience for what little I played, or for what I did play, because I didn't beat it. I'm about 6 hours in, so.
You're almost there.
Yeah, just another 6 to go.
All right. Now that we got that in the books, let's go ahead to the score.
The score.
Harry, why don't you start us off?
I'm going to go with a 4.0, which ties with Lollipop Chainsaw.
Huh. Same genre?
Kind of. I'm going to have to go with a... I'm going to have to go with a C. A C on this one. Yeah, seems fair.
I see.
No, I see.
Oh.
UP. What you got, Ralph?
So, the official unveiling of my new rating system, Gush Bash Shrug. I unfortunately think I'm going to have to give it a shrug. It didn't really light my fire, and I didn't really hate it. So, it's cusping Gush, but it's a shrug.
So is that like a 65 or 70%?
Yeah, it's like right on the edge there. It's a shrug.
Right.
It's a shrug.
Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on.
It's a gush, a shrug, gush, bash, shrug. Got it.
Is this like a
You're just teasing me.
like a turducken, where it's a little bit of everything?
I don't know what that is.
So,
I've never heard that
It's
before.
a turkey and a...
It's a gug.
It's a gug.
It's a gug.
I'm not going to gush about God of War.
No, I got that. No. I get your point.
Get it.
So I'm thinking, so I had this nice neat little chart thing I do, right?
Yeah.
So am I putting
Shrug.
Okay, I'm putting shrug.
That's a
not
shrug. Shrug.
a geshrug. Okay, that's
No,
that's
I'm
non-existent,
sorry. That's
right?
not a thing.
Okay.
Unless I make, some kind of change later where I do 5 categories out of the 3. Right now it's a shrug. It's a shrug. I'm shrugging.
Every day I'm shrugging it. Clark.
So, I've finally decided on what I'm going to do as an actual rating system going forward, as well. And I'm going to say, it's essentially, my rating system is going to be, is the game worth buying? Is it worth waiting for a sale? Is it worth a rental? Or is it worth avoiding completely? And there's going to be an if based on that as well. So, for this, I would say rent if you want to see the origins of God of War. If you have no interest in it, you can gladly pick up another game, but rent if you want to see the origins of God of War.
Thank you, everyone, for sitting around, enjoying us talking extensively about an ashy man who destroys gods. Or at least one
He's
god.
covered in ash. He's not an ashy man.
Okay, so he's covered in ash.
There you go. And
Ashy
paint.
man. And paint.
And anger.
And anger. All right. We'll see everybody next week.
What's our next game?
I don't fucking know.
Hold on, let me get out the book.
The next game is going to be Alan Wake.
Alan Sleep.
Good one. Good fucking nailed it, Ralph.
10 out of 10. All right. Cool. Love each other. Love yourselves. I love you too.
Stay sexy.
Game over. Game over.
Thanks for listening to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Stay up to date on our Facebook at facebook.com/superfunpodcast.